You're walking down the streets of YouTube when your curious brain notices something, a home unlike any other. You decide to knock on the door. Come in, let's talk about curiosity, how it led me to start reading books at age 24, how it transformed my life, and how you can gain most out of your books whether you're a newbie like me or a seasoned reader. Hola friends, welcome back to your home of ideas. If you're new here, my name is Mayank. I'm a PhD researcher working on nano devices. Growing up in mid 2000s, I used to watch a lot of National Geographic and Discovery Channel. That changed into me watching or listening to a lot of podcasts in 2015 because that's when I started my bachelor's and I had the access to the internet, the free and fast internet for the first time. It went on for a few years, but I always wanted to go deeper than the podcast guest was talking about. So I thought books might be a good alternate or a good way to satisfy my curiosity, but it never happened. It happened in January 2021. I clearly remember I was in Germany and lockdown has been announced and I was stuck in my home. I had this book from Richard Feynman, 6 Easy Pieces, and I started reading it. The two key lessons that you can take away from my story is that number one, let your curiosity guide you. Don't force yourself. You see, I started with physics. I did not start with fiction or productivity books because I was interested in physics. Then slowly I diverged into cognitive bias based books or neuroscience books, and then slowly into books like Why We Sleep, Factfulness, and now some philosophy. Now I'm discovering fiction through you guys. You're recommending me a lot of really nice books. And I can understand how fiction unlocks your imagination or your ability to empathize with other people. It's something that I still need to discover. I have not discovered it. Lesson number two, it is never too late to start. You see, what is the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. But what is the second best time to plant a tree? Now. So whenever you decide to start reading, it's fine. I started at age 24. You might be starting at 16 or 15 or I don't know, or maybe 30 or 30. It's all perfect time. Whenever you start, it's the perfect time. There's one more thing that I learned along the way in these 4 years is that how do you match the timing of your reading so that it facilitates you to achieve your goals faster? We will talk about it in detail later. Now let's talk about how reading has changed my brain. Number one, my critical thinking ability. My ability to distinguish signal from noise in this chaos have improved drastically. Let's start with an example. I was talking to someone and this person said that there was some news that an athlete has died because of an heart attack, and this person said that, oh, what's the point of exercising if athletes are dying because of heart attack? And immediately my brain said, no, if you want to compare, you have to compare a big data set. One person is basically cherry picking of data. So if you want to compare, you have to compare 10,000 athletes who participate at international level and check what is the rate of getting a heart attack in these 10,000 people, and then compare it to the general population, and you will see the difference clearly. In the general population, I'm pretty sure the rate of getting a heart attack compared to the athletes will be at least an order of magnitude higher. So this is how you can compare. This is a classic example of confirmation bias. You're cherry picking the data points which help you confirm your biases, your hypothesis. You're not seeing the full data set. Another big shift that has happened to me is my ability to accept myself, is my ability to be myself unapologetically. Before this, I used to struggle with the way I speak, the way I look, or the way I structure my ideas. I never had the confidence to share my ideas. But books have helped me in two ways. One, they have given me the confidence to share my ideas. Number two, they have given me the tools to structure my ideas. So this anyway gives me more confidence to share my ideas. But I've also understood one thing, that if your ideas have potential, if your ideas have merit, they will propagate no matter who criticizes them or who doesn't. And if they don't have the potential, they will die out anyway. The third lesson is very personal because I'm experiencing the benefits of this lesson every day. It's the ability to start and stick to the projects for a long term. I'll give you an example. I tried making these YouTube videos in 2019. I did it for a few months, stopped, failed. I tried again in 2021. I did it again for a few months, stopped, channel died. Then again I started in September 2024. And now here we are, almost 4.5 months later, and I'm pushing it really hard. And you see the difference. In 2019, I was a bachelor student. I had so much time with me, of course. And then in 2021, I was a master student. Still had some time. And now here I am doing it while being a PhD student. So the time that I have is very limited. But still I'm able to push. Why? because books have helped me to find the purpose, why I want to do this. The purpose was missing on both the last two occasions. Now the purpose is there. Because if the purpose is not there, no matter how much time you have, you will not be able to push for things. Now since I have the purpose, I'm able to push. Which brings me to the most important part of this video, is that what is the purpose of gaining this knowledge? Whether through reading books or watching videos or listening to podcasts or whatever the means you have. What is the purpose? For me, the purpose is very simple, is to be better. Better at what? Better at being a son, better at being a student, better at being a researcher, better at being a teacher, better at being a friend, better at being a human. And there's one thing that you should never forget. Reading is faster than watching, but doing is faster than reading. What you can gain out of an experience of doing something is far better than reading or watching something or listening something. Let me ask you a question. If you are given an opportunity to read 10,000 books on how to be a chef or how to cook food, or you are given an opportunity to spend 10,000 hours under a 3-star Michelin chef or a really renowned chef, I think you will gain orders of magnitude more knowledge from spending time with someone. Or take another example, when Warren Buffett went to Benjamin Graham for an internship and Warren Buffett said, I will even work free for you. Still Benjamin Graham said, free is still too expensive. So the knowledge that you can get from people or working closely with people who understand things is far more superior than any book can give you. Because then you learn the missing pieces, not just point 1, 2. You learn the point 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, the missing links that could never be written in any book. It happens in science as well, I can tell you. Even if you read another research paper and in the methods they explain how they made their sample, it is almost impossible to copy that, because there are always some missing links that you can only learn by watching somebody to do that. But this does not mean that reading is a bad tool. Reading is a very important tool that we all should have in our quiver. But when to use it? In my understanding, or this is what I do in my personal life. So I usually do something first and then read about it. So I try to do something for a while and then fail at it and then I go back to reading. This helps me because now I have the real world experience or the challenges that I faced. And now when I go back to read, now my brain is much more engaged and much more able to absorb more from the book so that I can apply on the real problem, because I know where I failed and what information I need to succeed at that place again. Here my approach have been to start doing something even before you know how to do it and then go back and read about it. But if you're already on this journey of reading and you want to figure out how to be purposeful about your reading, you can check out my video here where I talk about how to be purposeful in your reading. Have a good one, guys. See you in the next one.